Dalton Knecht has a few glaring weaknesses, but a key skill might turn him into a bona fide superstar. Leading up to the draft, many assumed that Knecht would be drafted in the top 10, presumably by Charlotte at number 6, but he ended up falling out of the lottery, which was quite shocking seeing that he was a rock star in college, which begs the question, will Knecht actually do well in the NBA? Coming out of Tennessee, he was top 10 in points per game, averaging 21.7, and showcased elite shot-making ability while also having 3-level scoring ability. He was lights out in college, pulling up from basically anywhere on the floor. In fact, he had his now teammate LeBron James singing his praises early on. We watched that Purdue-Tennessee game because of Zach Edey and Knecht. And he wasn't just a shooter. Knecht's slashing ability made it incredibly hard for his defenses to play him tight, which allowed him to roam more freely and come off screens more effectively. Simply put, it was not easy to guard his offense all season long. And on top of that, he had that it factor. Despite losing to Purdue in the Elite 8 of the March Madness tournament, he went out swinging as he dropped 37 points. During his time in college, he also impressed his coaches with his attitude and mindset. When his coach asked him how he liked the game and why, Knecht answered, "I loved it because I played with guys who wanted to win every game and every point." Now, another story from his early college days was when NJC was headed to overtime against Eastern Wyoming, with its season on the line in the Northwest Plains District semifinals in April 2021. Knecht told Coach Trankel they were going to the title game without question, after which he spent the 5-minute overtime period finding ways to score repeatedly. He came off screens, he worked in the high post, he ran to the wing. He made good on his word with a blend of scoring and passing. He had 38 points and 9 rebounds to send NJC to the district title game. So it is safe to say that he has got the mentality of a pro. Now, this thirst for knowledge and always looking to improve his game is a big reason why he had a breakout year during the NCAA tournament. He was named SEC Player of the Year by both the league's coaches and the Associated Press. He was also named SEC Newcomer of the Year by the AP. And despite all of this, people are still skeptical. The first reason is quite simple. He is 23 years old. Many rebuilding teams look at that number and think lack of upside. As such, players like Knecht, who spent 5 years in college, are overlooked in favor of younger prospects. Plus, it did take Knecht until his 4th year of eligibility before he really dominated in college. This might make some question whether he dominated because of his skill set or because he was more experienced and perhaps bigger and stronger than the other kids, advantages that he will not have in the NBA. The second reason is his questionable defense. Concerns about Knecht's defense are also valid. He's very stiff as a defender, lacking lateral quickness and getting stuck on screens. However, he does have the height to make up for his lack of quickness. He also seems to be aware of his weaknesses and is actively trying to improve upon them. He ended up going to Tennessee because his favorite player, Kevin Durant, had been coached by Tennessee head coach. Dalton studied KD's game on YouTube in middle school and still does. And on top of that, Coach Barnes had a defensive reputation. According to Knecht, his biggest leap defensively had been on the mental side. He constantly asked questions and was always seeking feedback. Knecht also stayed in contact with his junior college coaches to get feedback on his performance. Knecht stayed so connected with his former coaches that he'd know Northeastern's travel schedule and used to FaceTime them at 2 a.m. when he knew they would just be getting back from a road trip. So clearly, he does not shy away from criticism. He understands that he needs to work on his weaknesses constantly. Although he might have the mentality and work ethic nailed down, does he have the game to be a good NBA player? Now, Knecht has a bunch of good things going for him. He is a dynamic shooter, knows how to navigate screens, and has the ball handling to create his own shot when need be. He has a feel for running the pick and roll, so he could develop into a primary option. Plus, he is an ambidextrous finisher who can handle contact around the rim and still score. He also does the little things like being active and cutting to the rim when the opportunity presents itself. He can even attack mismatches in the paint. However, he has been targeted by opposing players on defense. If college players can expose him, then NBA players should be able to do so even easier. But as a member of the Lakers, he is exactly what the team needed. The Lakers were 15th in offensive rating last season. The Lakers were also 9th in three-point shooting last year, and that was after D'Lo turned his season around and became a lethal shooter. Prior to that, the Laker team under LeBron James have struggled to hit the three ball consistently. They shot 37.2% last year and 34.4% the year before. Spacing issues have plagued the Lakers since their bubble run, back when they had good 3-and-D players like KCP and Kuzma. Now, Knecht can stretch the floor and provide AD and LeBron with the spacing that they need. In fact, Knecht should find himself open quite often, as both AD and LeBron take up much of the opposing defense's attention. So, if Knecht can just hit his shots, that will open up the Lakers' offense. And JJ Redick might be the perfect coach for someone like Knecht. Redick is arguably one of the best screen navigators and catch-and-shoot three-point shooters in league history. He can easily draw up plays for Knecht to get open and get into a rhythm. If Knecht's three-ball translates to the NBA, then the Lakers can have something truly special. With guys like D'Lo and Reeves also shooting at a higher clip, the Lakers could get back to being one of the best scoring teams in the league. And if you have any doubts about Knecht's game translating, it is safe to say that he'll be coming into the league with a chip on his shoulder. I feel like I've been underrated my whole entire life, ever since I was coming out of high school. So, I've always had that chip on my shoulder. And to this day, I'll always have that chip on my shoulder to go out there and prove people wrong. Knecht has said that some of his earliest ball memories were watching college basketball with his dad, Corey Knecht. He grew up playing point guard, and he and his dad studied Chris Paul, Steve Nash, Kyrie Irving, and Steph Curry. Not a bad bunch to model your game after. He spent every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the gym training. He would return on weekdays to put the work into practice. Growing up, two things were clear. He loved basketball and he needed a growth spurt. Instead of listening to the naysayers who said he was too small, he listened to his dad, who also had a late growth spurt. His dad also knew a thing or two about shooting. Dalton's elite shooting ability can be credited to his formative years. His shooting motion dates back to his middle school years when he was in Colorado with his dad. Corey Knecht taught his son to repeat the form. Set your feet, flick your wrist, hold the follow through, elbow in, focus on the same spot on the rim. Knecht lives by those words. And that is one thing the Lakers have been missing in recent years: consistency. Either players come into the season with a lot of hype behind them and fail to live up to their promises, or the team ends up shaking up things at the deadline and everyone has to struggle to rebuild team chemistry. Or the stars end up picking up injuries throughout the season, which also limits the team's potential. So, if Knecht can come in and be consistent, that would give the Lakers something to build around. He could be that bridge player that helps the organization transition away from the LeBron era as he nears retirement and toward a new look Lakers as they build their new identity under new head coach JJ Redick. Besides, he was incredible in the Summer League. Knecht finished the NBA Summer League, including the California Classic Summer League, averaging 18.2 points and 5.2 rebounds in 6 games. So it sounds like Knecht 4 is exactly what the Lakers need.